All right, everyone, welcome to a familiar's quandary. This is a single shot where we're going to be playing the familiars of a wizard named Mr. Tabernac, who's a very genuinely good soul, just a bit scatterbrained, and probably shouldn't be messing with these sorts of things, but we'll see what happens. Do you folks want to talk about your characters real quick?
Sure. I'll go first, I suppose. So I am playing Sammy, the celestial dog familiar. I picked that because Sammy is both my actual dog in real life and also as a joke and a nod to all dogs go to heaven. So that is why I'm a celestial. Um, I look a little bit like Benji, the famous movie dog, a little bit. Mostly white fur, black ears. Walks are my favorite thing in the world, and yeah, I'm really hoping to be familiar of the month someday. That's my goal.
There we go. That's the keyboard shortcut.
Very good.
She's got a little bit of a derp tongue going on there, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it, but I was
Yes,
thinking
she
it.
yes she does. That's why I picked the picture because it's a great picture of her. I
Yeah.
have like two or three photos with just a little bit of tongue, and they're my favorite pictures of her. She's wonderful. She's also a little goblin, but my partner and I love her, and she is wonderful. And yeah, that's my dog Sammy, and I'll pass it over to the next player.
All right, well, I'll go next until Pi is ready. Playing Latte, which is not the cat, right? Who's trying to get at stuff. What do you? Oh,
Good job, Earl.
yeah, I love you too. All right, come here. I'm playing Latte, the other cat in the house, and she is a very good mischief maker. Who was adopted from the Scars um, Society, whatever, the Second Chance Animal Rescue that we are um, fundraising for. And I figured, if we're fundraising for them, I might as well play the cat we got from them. Ow. Also, Earl is way too skittish to be a familiar. That would not go well. He'd be all bluster, and then something happens, and he's just running for the closest place to hide.
That would not be a very useful familiar, no.
No, but
It's
Latte is
fine.
a go-getter. She likes investigating everything and is very, very friendly. Um, Grew up on the streets and now knows what a nice, cozy home is and does not want to have that be in jeopardy. And she doesn't need to be told she's the familiar of the month because she's the familiar of the year, obviously. So that's just how it is.
And we've got one more.
And hi, I'm Pi. I'm playing Spot, the venomous little noodle with stripes. Because you should spot me, because I'm pretty. Uh, Spot would like to eventually become familiar of the month, but really they should just use Spot as like the frame for everybody else. That should just be there in every month. Uh huh. Uh huh. I'm shaped for it, and I don't have any paws, so I can't use them for crimes, which makes me uh, a head up on some people. I look over at the rats.
Well, you don't need manipulative paws or any other appendages to get into mischief as a snake.
I would never get caught
No,
doing
no.
mischievous things.
Best venomous danger noodle ever.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Well, the familiar of the month was supposed to be randomized, but due to everyone's introductions, I think Latte kind of has to be it at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So, welcome, Latte, the familiar of the month. You've been the most helpful to Mr. Tabernac, which means you get to start in a special spot right now.
Oh, whoa.
All right. So, welcome to Mr. Tabernac's Tower. We have Latte up on the table next to him, down in this. There we go. Oh, there we go. Ping. There we go for everyone. And where does Sammy and Spot keep their enclosures? Their places where they want to be by themselves or rest for a little bit.
In
Would it be on this floor?
Generally speaking, yes, this is his lab. This is where he keeps all of the things related to his familiars. You can be elsewhere if you'd like. There are comfy beds upstairs. If you want to, root around in there under the covers and make a nuisance for the housekeeper. But we're going to be starting play down here. So where would you all like to be? And we are at half-size grids, playing kind of with spaces just a little bit today, since you all are tinies, except for Sammy.
I imagine that Sammy likes to curl up this way, tuck herself into a little like donut button, and then stare. That way she can look down the stairs if somebody's like coming up the stairs, and then also see if anybody leaves the laboratory and kind of have like a view of the whole space.
Yeah, this is actually on floor 1, which might be ground floor, but it's definitely not where the entrance is.
Okay.
The foyer is actually floor 2 in his tower, so you're looking upstairs, but same thing.
Okay.
I imagine maybe she's got a pillow or something if that's a favorite spot of hers.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine I would be coiled around the potions near the cauldron, since the cauldron is frequently nice and warm.
Mm-hmm.
And-
And it is so right now.
Yes.
So you get some nice heat, ambient heat coming from there.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So Mr. Tabernac was never one to clean up after himself. The blue-haired human wizard has a talent for making a mess around his tower, which has a slight tilt, lit sometimes dimly, and it's tilted thanks to a tree that's slowly growing its way through it. Even his lawn is weedy, a fact that the Tower Owners Association, or TOA, points out whenever he wanders out with a cup of tea for a bit of sun. Hells, Mr. Tabernac can hardly be bothered to throw on much more than his purple wizard's robes, which are embroidered with silvery stars. But for all his faults, the Wizard of Tabernac Tower is known to care dearly for his familiars. What they feel for him is another matter, but something we're soon to discover. The next round of questions I have for everyone. How long have you been a familiar? Ripped out from whatever plane you were hiding from originally as a spirit. And how do you feel about being a familiar?
I'll go. I'll say Sammy has been a familiar for a couple years and thinks that Mr. Tabernac is the best owner that they've ever had, and it just demonstrates that dog loyalty, and loves Mr. Tabernac, and is just always excited for whatever the day is going to bring.
Playing up that celestial nature a little bit. Okay. Anyone else?
Spot probably hasn't been a familiar for too long, maybe only a couple months. I forgot to say, but fiendish in nature. But it's nice to not be really hot all the time. Sometimes nice to be cold, just so you can get that extra comfort of then being warm. And I'm hopefully eventually learning to be a more better snick.
Does the snake nature come naturally, or you got to work on it?
Snake nature comes great. The whole I can be used for other things than to terrify others.
Well, gotcha.
They're just like, oh,
Gotcha.
it's you again. The noodle's here.
And what about Latte?
I think Latte has a Fey origin and probably doesn't remember exactly how long she's been around. Could be a couple years, could be a couple months. All she knows is this place is a lot easier to get around in and less dangerous than the Feywild.
Yeah. Just as
Right
many
here.
just as many surprises though. As I mentioned
Yeah.
before, Mr. Tabernac is a skilled wizard, but he's a bit foolhardy.
At least there's less, Fey bullshit going on.
That is true. That is true.
Probably not
So
0, though.
that is also true.
Yeah. And some of it may or may not be related to Latte. You never know.
You know. These things, they happen.
Yeah. Sometimes, you gotta let loose.
So we begin our adventure on the first floor of the Wizard's Tower, which functions as Mr. Tabernac's workspace. It's complete with desk and chairs, bookcases, a large cauldron, and the wizard's greatest invention, an oven that's related to the familiars. However, you've never really seen it work. Mr. Tabernac has told you it works, and he says not to worry if you ever get into danger, but you've honestly never been in danger. Mr. Tabernac's long done with his adventuring days. He prefers mostly to research quietly in his tower, and I put quietly in air quotes because mistakes happen and explosions happen. Mr. Tabernac's desk is riddled with papers, half-filled potion bottles, and spilled alchemical ingredients. And this is what Latte and Spot find themselves among on his alchemy table there. The old wizard takes a ladle and dips it into the cauldron. He pours a heaping scoop of a steaming iridescent liquid into a wide-mouthed chalice. He swirls it a bit in his hands, kind of peers at it, pulls it away from his head, brings it back, smells it. Apparently, whatever it is seems to be correct. He looks at the two of you that are attending him, and he says, "This might be my second greatest invention. I hope it works. I salute, my dear friends, to the longevity and pursuit of animal kind." And he tips the potion back, drinking it. He smacks his lips as he sets down the chalice. "Interesting," he says, scratching his beard, before, poof, a puff of rainbow smoke fills the room. Something splatters to the ground. As the smoke clears, you see a rainbow ooze where the wizard once stood. There's no eyes, but a little slit pops open in the ooze. And after a moment, it speaks. Mr. Tabernac's voice comes from it. "Oh, goodness, this is unpleasant," you hear from a mouth floating in the muck. "I'm afraid you'll need to help me out of this. Now, I don't have much in the way of skin or feeling, but I do believe I'm slipping towards the drain ever so slowly." And you take a look, and in fact he is, kind of ever so slowly drooping towards the drain set in a recession in the ground. He starts flattening and stretching out towards that drain. What does everyone do?
Oh no.
I see now why his border is rainbow colored.
Yes.
Was the puff and splat maybe loud enough to like wake a dozing dog in the other room?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It was not a quiet alchemical mishap.
Then do you know how like when a dog like startles awake and like freaks out a little bit for a second? That's 100% what Sammy does for a second. It like yaps,
Oh, yeah.
like barks a little bit, and then comes running over into the doorway to see what is going on. And
Latch
just
is
like cocks
probably
their
just
head.
like on the table on all fours, tail slightly poofed out from what happened, just peering down. Looks
Yeah.
over at Sammy. Wasn't me.
I'm like
He
half
gives
hanging onto a bottle, half drooping down, going, woo.
Sammy is very cat skeptical, and like rate like cocks their head and like raises an eyebrow kind of at Latte and is like just what a cat would say. But then like comes over and like maybe like snuffles your
Don't
rainbow
eat him!
slime.
That's
You see Sammy's tongue was like halfway out getting ready to give it a lick just to see, and he goes and like sucks it back inside like oh, and like a little bit admonished.
that's our wizard there.
He seems to sit on the drain so he doesn't go in.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Well,
Wait,
Do
and
we
then Sammy comes over and like like this drain and like sits on it, and it's like, does that work? Am I helping?
Sure. We need
Uh.
something. We need to gather. We need to gather the slime in something. Receptacle.
yeah, is there a...
Is there a pan? Maybe
or another cauldron or a bucket?
bucket.
Well, go ahead and give me a perception check, everyone. The way these tokens have their macro set up, if you click on a token, you'll see your checks, initiative, saves, and skills, as well as any attacks your familiar might have.
Perception is wisdom, right?
Correct.
Well, oops, I rolled a basic check, not a perception check. That should actually be a 6 on that.
Oh, okay. So apparently I did not put in the correct number there. We'll fix that. And my apologies, that's macro there. Do I need to adjust any pronouns or anything on those macros?
No.
Actually, I think we can fix them on our end.
You can. If you go into the attributes.
Yep. I can do it.
Yeah. The unholy mess that is the macro itself doesn't contain any of that. Just scroll to the bottom and pop that in.
Alright.
And I'm going to go ahead and fix that for Sammy real quick.
Does it?
Because you should have...
Come back here, window.
There you go. Okay. Sammy should be corrected now.
Okay.
All right. So with those numbers, Latte, you do see that there's, in amongst the junk, there's a couple of things that could potentially hold an ooze. You don't quite know without touching him how viscous and goopy he might be right now. But there's open chests and barrels. There's some cups that might hold portions of him. Maybe it's not safe to split up the ooze into different cups. And eventually, you spy in the corner a dusty old broom and a bucket.
Okay. Bucket time. I will hop off the table and go grab the bucket.
Okay. You wander over to the corner, and how are you grabbing the bucket?
I'm assuming the bucket has like a handle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll grab the handle in my teeth and just like drag it over.
Just drag it over. Okay.
Possibly awkwardly at first as I try to put feet on the other side, realize this isn't going to work because I'm too tiny, and then just drag it sideways.
The broom clatters out of the bucket onto the floor as you drag it out from the corner, but eventually you're able to wrest it around and bring it over. The ooze that was once your wizard friend has moved about halfway from where it started towards the drain at this point. Sammy dutifully blocking it as best as she can. How does everyone get the ooze into the bucket?
So I'll put the bucket facing where the ooze is coming.
Oh, I can brace it because I'm bigger than both of you. So like maybe like Sammy can like kind of like hunker against it and like put her head against it to like hold the bucket in place so that when the ooze slides, it will slide into the bucket.
Maybe tuck it between your legs while you're sitting.
If it's big enough. Yeah, I could do that if it's big enough.
Okay. Um, so with some effort, you're able to brace the bucket and kind of use Paws, and I don't know if Spot's helping with their slimy, slimy, scaly, excuse me, body, but the slimy ooze kind of sticks together, and eventually you can work it into the bucket. And once the ooze gets most of the way in, it starts speaking again, and he says, "Ooh, that's a different texture wood. Is that a bucket? Oh, genius, my dear friends. That'll keep me from slipping down the drain." Where do you put the wizard?
Well, we'll have to get the bucket upright, but after that, we can't really move the bucket, so I think we're leaving it there unless Sammy wants to move it.
If I'm strong enough to move it, like pick up the handle in my jaws, then maybe put him on the other side of the drain so that if he does, like, the drain is not like all the floors tilt towards the drain, right?
It's mostly just in the alchemical section.
Okay, so then maybe I'll pick him up and move him like into, can I move him into like this different room over here or something like that, and like away from the the drain, and so he won't like tilt toward it if the bucket were to ever like dip over or tip
Sure,
over, excuse me.
he'll just kind of splorch on the ground there.
Sure. Okay. Then I'll set the bucket down very carefully there, and uh, and then come back over to Latte and Spot, and then sit and like wag my tail and be like, okay, what's next?
Uh,
I don't know. I don't think he can understand us.
he drank something, went, huh, said it was genius, and then poof!
You do know from
Wait,
experience, Mr.
that
Tabernac
slime
can't.
is Mr. Tabernac?
Yes, that's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
That's why we told you not to lick it.
But Mr. Tabernac likes when I lick him.
Yeah, but if you lick him now, you might eat him.
Which is bad.
Or you might
Yeah,
turn
okay.
into a slime, for all we know.
Oh, I don't want that. That'd be bad.
Yeah, we only have one bucket, and how would we get you into the bucket before you go into the drain?
I think mixing would also be bad.
You do know from experience that Mr. Tabernac can't understand you. Unlike normal familiars, which can communicate telepathically, one of the oddities of his version of the spell that lets him summon more than one of you is that he can't really communicate with you. He knows that you can understand him. He just doesn't have any way to reliably understand you without expending more magic. And unfortunately, he's not quite capable of performing spells at the moment, being goopy and not in control of his own body. He does somehow hear you talking amongst each other, making your animal noises from the other room. And you hear him call out, "Friends, I've been thinking about that potion. It was based on a true polymorph spell, which is a good thing for the workings, but a bad thing for this predicament. I have a feeling, based on that spell, that this might become permanent if we don't find a solution within the next hour or so. Luckily, I was prepared for such trouble. There's an antidote recipe in my spell book up on the table in the other side of the tower. I don't have eyes at the moment, but I promise you the recipe is in there. Just look for a bit of ooze in the margins."
Alrighty. I'm
Did you say
gonna,
that was on another floor? Just to clarify.
On the other side of the tower.
yeah. So I'm gonna go slither over to the book side.
I will trot happily along, just happy to be included.
Yeah, I'll hop up on the table and start flipping through pages.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
helpfully gonna tell you to look for an ooze.
There's a number of different books up on this table. You have some that are more decorated than others, some that are gilt and gem encrusted. There's a plain leather-bound tome that might be a journal or a workbook of some sort. And there's all sorts of books in this corner of his room. This is what he calls his library. And while it's not the most cozy of spaces, it does have enough books to be called a library. So, we're going to see how long it takes to find that correct book. Let's go ahead and roll an investigation check, everyone.
Oh boy.
I will properly roll investigation this time.
uh,
I got a 15.
Well, Lante being very skilled. Oh, Sammy
she's-
gets it this
she's-
time.
She's sat on many books before.
which one's investigation?
It's intelligence.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna do poorly.
Yeah, you're all animals, so there aren't a whole lot of intelligent animals as far as D&D rules are concerned.
Oh
Oof.
yeah, -2.
Oof.
I told you I didn't have any.
Danger Noodles -5.
Yup.
So, Sammy, you using your nose, kind of smell out a book that smells kind of like the potions that Mr. Tabernac likes making in his cauldrons. And you nose over to it on the table and point it out to Latte and Spot. They start flipping through the book, and they can't really make heads or tails of of what's going on with the writing, not being able to read common or any of his arcane sigils. But luckily, the absent-minded wizard had a tendency to doodle in his books. Eventually, the cat and Danger Noodle Snake come to a page that depicts a puddle of an unknown substance with an arrow pointing at a smiling stick figure. Below that, you see the following ingredients, which have been drawn for your convenience. A toenail, a purple flower clipped from a black vine, 1 salami, and a scoop of pink gel taken from what looks to be a flump. Another drawing next to it depicts these ingredients being dropped into a large cauldron of iridescent liquid, with poorly drawn animals squawking and barking around it.
Is
So it
there
looks
a
like we have-
dog?
Is there a dog?
Sorry. Is there a dog in the pictures of the poorly drawn animals?
There are.
I look at the dog and go, "Do you think that's me?"
No. Anyways,
Sammy's ears like flop down. Aww.
I think those are meant to be the animals he wanted to turn into. So it can't be you.
Okay.
It looks like we have to find these stuff and put it into the potion he was making. And that will solve. Do you think we have to put the slime wizard in the potion or the potion into the slime wizard? Do you think that matters?
I think that's the same thing because we've only got one bucket.
Yeah, no, I don't think even Spot can move that cauldron.
Yeah.
Besides Spot. All
So
right. Well,
so maybe we mix all the ingredients in the cauldron and then we'll put Mr. Tabernac the slime into the cauldron with it after it's all mixed.
Well, how else is he gonna drink it?
yeah, I think that's our option.
Oh, that's a good point.
Also, it looks like we need a piece of salami. That means that none of us can eat it.
We all look at Sammy.
Sammy like you when you like your kid like kicks their foot like in the dirt, like I wasn't gonna do that. That's 100% he was thinking, ooh, salami. I'd like salami. That sounds great.
Now we have to hope that there's salami left. Where the heck do we find this flower?
So,
Can anybody see the color purple? Because dogs
Probably.
No,
can't
I don't
see the
think
color
so.
purple.
Hmm.
They're
I don't think
colorblind,
I don't think
except
cats
for
can see
greens and
red.
blues.
We just have to look for a black stick. It's fine.
Stick?
Black stick with a blob on it. We're looking for the blob on the black stick.
Every time you say stick, Sammy's ears like perk up, 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 up higher.
because it's actually what your dog does.
It is, yes.
I had to mute my mic. I'm laughing so hard.
I think I finally found like my role playing niche. I just play my dog. I'm apparently kind of good at it.
Just when you want to channel shenanigans and a bit of dopiness, yes, just channel Sammy.
Who wouldn't?
Well, according to Google, dogs can definitely not see purple. Cats can to a degree. It's just a very faded version because their red receptacles are very weak. But they apparently do have them, unlike the canines who only have yellow and blue and cannot
Mhm.
see red,
Awesome.
which you kind of
Awesome.
need
This
for
is going to go
purple.
super well, guys.
Yep. Nailed it. We'll be fine.
There's no
So-
way
Far
this
as-
can fail.
As far as snakes go, I have no clue.
I have blind sight. Don't look at me.
So you do know, having been here for a while, the layout of the tower. You've been to 4 of the 5 floors of the tower. The 5th one is normally kept locked. It's a storage room, and recently there have been noises up there, but Mr. Tabernac himself doesn't seem concerned and has never opened the door around any of you, so you haven't gone up in there. You do know that bedrooms, including his own and guests, are on the 4th floor. The 3rd floor has the kitchens. Then the 2nd floor is the foyer and sitting area. There are potted plants and foliage spread around the entire tower. The kitchen's probably a good spot to find some salami. And the big question is, where are you going to find a thumph? And where are you going to find a toenail? Can't take one from the ooze.
Oh, yeah.
Does any of your animals have a higher passive perception than 10?
Yes. I have a passive perception of 13.
Same.
Okay. So, the two mammals, or spirit in mammal form, as they're pondering their predicament, happen to spot something up on the ceiling that wasn't there before. Some damage. And in the middle, is that a toenail?
From when he poofed?
It must have been. It wasn't there before. While you're trying to figure out how that might have happened, you hear Mr. Tabernac call from his corner there. And he says, "Friends, and it kind of bubbles a little bit. I hope you've found that antidote. I think I'm losing form a little bit. My mouth feels wobbly."
I come over and I say, "We found it. Now we just got to figure out how to make it." But all he hears is yap, 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 bark, bark, bark.
It kind of blubbles a little bit, and he says, "Well, I hope that's a yes, Sammy. I'm kind of counting on everyone here. I might not be able to speak for very much longer."
Losing form, he says, when he's goop. So you said it was on the roof,
Like on the
ceiling.
Yeah.
on the ceiling. How tall is the ceiling?
It's about 10 feet up in here. The
Easy.
towers,
I
the
can get up
towers,
there.
the towers floors are not very tall except for the foyer. Most of the stairs are fairly low, and they accommodate a ramp for a set of balls that you actually haven't seen used before. That was a good idea earlier, by the way. Thanks for that. So you have a toenail up on the ceiling.
So cats
I
can
just
jump pretty high. I've seen my cats try to get pretty.
there's
Uh,
also the table.
yeah. I think I need the table because 10 feet is too high for a cat. But from the table, maybe I
uh,
can jump that
I
high.
also had another thought. Sammy has like her two brain cells rub against each other for a second, and she goes, wait, if you knock the toenail down, what if it goes down the drain? And can I pull this rug that's like sitting over here in this corner? Can I pull it off like from where it is and pull it over the drain so that if the toenail like gets knocked off the ceiling or drops out of the ceiling, that it won't go down the drain by accident?
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
Excellent
Excellent.
thinking.
I go and do that, and then after I get it into position, I just kind of like shake it a little bit, like extra, to make sure that it's actually dead.
I'm gonna sit under where it's supposed to fall, and then I'll be able to spot where it lands.
Yeah, don't lose it among the shag of the carpet.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's what I'm
one
hoping
shaggy
not
carpet.
to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna climb up on the table, spend like a minute wiggling my butt and trying to calculate the angle. Jump up on my hind legs. And then I'm aiming to jump and kind of like scratch the area where the toenail is, basically, with my paws.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a strength athletics check.
It's gonna go great.
It'll be
You got
fine.
this.
Have you seen the tiny little kittens trying to jump up onto the like counter?
Where they
And then
jump
they
and make it
kick their
all
legs
of
out, they don't
one
go
half
nowhere.
inch.
Okay, so here's the problem. There's not a lot of pages on the desk.
Oh.
Oh. She just kind of slips and does the kitten hop.
Yeah,
Kitten flop.
just flops off the desk. So I rolled a 0.
All of the DCs in this adventure do take into account the rather poor physical attributes for strength, and mental attributes in intelligence and wisdom.
And
That was a
yet,
DC. That was a DC 8.
I have a -4 though, so
That's true. That's true.
I'm just surprised I managed a 0.
Sammy will go, that was really good, but maybe because I'm bigger, maybe I can reach it. Can I try?
You can totally try, and
oh no.
if you
I'm like
make
dusting
this,
myself off, like shaking a leg and going like, that was a misstep.
sorry, you're gonna climb up on the table too. Do it just like Latte tried.
Uh, yeah, I think so. I don't think I can standing long jump to get there.
Isn't
So,
that
or
how
standing high
dogs
jump.
get high?
My parents' old dog that was a lab pit mix could get its feet to like 6+ feet off the ground, like in like a straight jump up a wall.
Yeah, I think dogs are better at that, like straight up.
Yeah,
I'm just imagining dogs trying to look over fences that they do that like hop.
That's exactly what my parents' old dog used to do.
Yeah.
And this was a 80-pound lab pit mix. I mean, this was a big dog, and
I mean,
they could get high.
they've got strong legs.
Uh-huh.
yeah. And this is where the D&D rules become an abstraction rather than a reality, because with the strength of that profile, good luck jumping anywhere.
Yeah,
So
which is a little
we'll
weird
forget
for a
that.
cat, right? But
Yeah.
I only have a -1, so if it's a DC 8, I only have to roll a 9, which I have better than 50-50 odds on. So I will scrabble my way up onto the table, and I will mimic what I saw Latte do. So I will do the whole like butt wiggle, like checking to like
Adjusting.
calculate the odds and whatnot. I'm like totally mimicking what I saw Latte do before I roll.
It feels weird for you, but well,
But I'm
you've
like,
seen the
no,
cat
this
do
is
it
what
multiple
Latte,
times, so
I should do it this way. Okay, athletics.
What a
No
good
whammy, no
disciple.
whammy. Oh, God dang it.
You get closer.
I did get closer.
Sammy's paws just miss it by just, well, you don't know what an inch is, but it was really close.
Hey, Sammy, do you think you could toss Spot up there?
Eh?
I can try.
With what?
What would you say that is? To let Spot curl up on the top of my head, and then I buck my head and lift my front paws up and try to fling Spot up there.
Hmm. Um. So the question is not strength, but accuracy in that regard.
Mhm.
So
15 dex.
yeah.
Because I'm
Yeah,
sure that you could fling me somewhere.
That's
The
totally
question
true.
is, yeah. My other option would be for Sammy and me to use that ladder and get it into position so that Spot could slither up the ladder and get to the roof to
Mhm.
get to the ceiling.
Yeah.
Oh, that could
So,
work.
so the ladder, isn't attached at the top, other than normally has a rail up there, but there's too much junk that's been piled in the corner. It doesn't really go anywhere. So if you can unhook the ladder, you can hold it wherever you need to. It just becomes a strength issue. It's a fairly heavy ladder.
Hmm.
So do we want to try ladder or tossing? I feel like ladder gives a bit more control for Sammy to go up there and not Sammy, Spot to go up there and peel it off the ceiling.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Then
We
I
could
won't
maybe try to
accidentally go in
use
the cauldron.
that could go badly. That's true.
Yeah.
Uh, plus
Surely
also,
between Spot and Sammy and I we can get that shimmy that ladder into position.
I would think so, and we could maybe use some of the stuff, like some of the barrels and chests, if those aren't too heavy for us to move, or for the maybe one of the chairs from the other part of the room. We could use that to
Brace it.
help brace the ladder too.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. Um, the chairs aren't terribly heavy to move. You just drag them along the floor a bit until eventually they're in position. It's a little difficult to drag it over the carpet, but that's fine. Um, the ladder, on the other hand, that one's a bit more tricky. So again, it's mounted just with a railing on the top, but it's fairly heavy. So do you think Sammy is going to be strong enough to move a ladder, or maybe someone
Um,
climbs up and just knocks it over?
yeah, I mean, we can certainly try. Maybe I get behind it, I go under it, and Latte, you climb up it, and then we both work together to try to push it over so that it gets free from the railing that it's attached to.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what we'll try.
Okay,
All on
so
top of you, but
all right, so who's climbing a ladder to try to push it off the rail?
so I'll climb the ladder since I'm the lighter one, and I'll brace myself on the top rung basically, and put my paws against the wall and push that way. And Sammy pushes from the ground. Maybe get up on your hind legs and push it halfway up.
Yeah, I'll do something like that. I'll put my paws on the back side of it and try to put
Mhm.
my body weight against it.
Okay. So we're going to make this another just strength check in this case, but whoever rolls will have advantage from the help.
I have a
So
-1 strength, so maybe
yeah,
it's better for me to have advantage.
I'll just help I'll do the help.
Yeah,
action.
you're doing the guiding, but Sam, he's probably just gonna
Yeah.
buck and try and get it off of the rails.
Like I see it more of like me trying to push it slightly so that it gets off the rails, but the strength part is gonna have to be you.
Come from the
Okay.
bottom, yeah.
That makes the most sense, probably. Okay. This is a strength check. Submit. Oh my
11.
gosh.
Excellent.
Okay. It's good enough.
After a little bit of straining, the pulleys, or the wheels, excuse me, finally come off the rail, and with that, the ladder swings forward and crashes onto the ground. Well, onto the carpet that's there. It makes a little bit less noise than if it had fallen on the hardwood. But the ladder is free.
Cool. Now what?
Now we brace it against the chair.
Yeah, now it has to go back up again.
Sammy's like looks exhausted, but like grabs the far end of the ladder and like tries to like walk it up, like get her nose under it, and then like push it up like slowly.
I'll like help by sitting on the chair so the chair has weight enough to not move.
And I'm just gonna coil myself on the top rung so when we get up there, I'm already there.
You're like the Uruk-hai in the Battle of Helm's Deep, just riding that ladder up.
Yeah.
All right. So, you're eventually able to get the ladder braced between Sammy and the chair, and Spot rides that up and finds himself just within short distance. It's a little bit of a reach still, but you can pull that out without any issue.
Yoink.
Yeah. Go ahead and we're going to do this as what I call a luck roll instead of the check that this once was for this part. Just give me a D20 check, and if you roll higher than 10, so 50-50, we'll see if the bad thing happens. It does not happen on a higher.
I'm in danger.
A bit.
Alright, let's hope I don't fall in the cauldron.
Far enough away from the cauldron is probably not a... Okay,
Indeed, I
so...
have not fallen in the cauldron.
You pull
Nice.
this nail from the plaster on the ceiling, and you see it start cracking, and some bits and bobs fall from it, but it holds itself up decently well. It makes a bit of a mess, but you're not going to have any masonry or anything fall on anybody. So you now have a toenail.
Ew.
Yeah, it's in your mouth. I assume you're not trying to coil around it.
No.
All right, so do we just pop it in the potion now, or do we have to put all of them together?
Maybe we should wait until we have them all,
Yeah.
just in case something goes wrong.
What if it goes bad before we get the rest of it in?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so do we want to leave it on the table by the potion cauldron?
That makes sense to me.
Either that or on the chair that's here by the ladder.
Chair's a bit easier to get up to. Yeah, you're right.
Are we letting the ladder fall over again?
Yes.
Nice.
Nobody said anything. I was gonna just have it fall over too. Oh,
Very good.
same track mind.
Poor Tabernac is like, that's a lot of crashing.
My
There's
poor
so many
alchemical
noises.
corner.
My lab is a shambles. Okay, so you have your 4 ingredients. You think you know where at least one of them might be. The other one you know is somewhere around the tower, and that fourth one is a mystery. What would you like to tackle?
I think we should just go. We know where Slimy is. That's going to be in the kitchen. We need to find that plant, and I think I'm the only one who can see purple. So
Yeah, so you better know where this purple plant is.
do I know where there are purple plants in the house?
Yeah, you think you remember seeing one on the second floor in the foyer in the sitting area.
Okay. All right. Onwards, henchman, and I will go to the second floor.
Just before we're about to go up the stairs, Sammy like sits down with a look of shock on her face, and her ears like pinned back, like she's really sad. She goes, "Oh my gosh, I just realized if we don't save Mr. Tabernac, then we know we need to take me on my walk later."
That's the least of our worries. Let's go.
And you'll never be a good boy again. Now, come on.
Like Sammy looks heartbroken.
There is the housekeeper, but it's probably hard to ask the housekeeper for care. He
She
comes
doesn't
in.
go on walks like Mr. Tabernac goes on walks.
No, he doesn't. Okay. So you come up from the lab, up the stairs into the second floor in the foyer. The second floor of the tower has a seating area, complete with a couch, a couple of chairs, a coffee table. There's another reading table in the corner, more bookshelves, more piles of stuff. There's a fire that was going nicely in the fireplace there. It is starting to burn down. So this level of the tower tends to get a little drafty. But in the center seating area, amongst the couches and chairs and small tables and things like that, you see two things of note. You have a fish tank, which contains 4 fish that you've learned the hard way and not to tangle with. They are quippers. And they are not familiars that take the form of quippers. They are just quippers. You've never been able to talk with them. The tank is decorated like a shipwreck. And wedged between the tank and the couch is a tall, black-leafed plant, atop which is a purple flower. Both the fish tank and the couch have been badly slashed by this plant over the years.
Is it a moving plant?
It does move.
Oh, good. Well, I'm going to point at the plant and go, that's a purple plant.
Good thing you could see color.
Yes.
We're looking for a blue flower. This is
It's purple.
I'm pretty sure it's like
It's the same
orange?
color as the one in the book. Let's go for it.
Okay.
Sammy, I will let you do the honors.
Sammy goes, "Okay, thanks," and like hops up onto the couch
You should
and
really
like
be careful.
and will reach over and try to like grab like just at the base of the flower where it like is growing out of the plant, and we'll try to like reach over and like grab it with her mouth.
Okay. The plant you've known does not like being touched or really anything coming up next to it. As you try reaching out over it, it's going to slash at you with its very sharp knee leaves. And I forgot to make a macro for this, so we'll roll this the hard way. What is Sandy's armor class?
12.
Almost right on the dot.
Dang. All right.
So it is going to it's going to connect with its slashing attack, and it's going to cause 1 point of slashing damage.
Okay. Sammy like yelps in pain and like shrinks back and like raises her hackles and like growls at the plant angrily. She's got like a little like cut on her on like the front of her nose, and she like will growl at the plant angrily.
Latte and Spot, you noticed that it seemed that while Sammy had the plant was attacking Sammy, it was not following the fish in the tank. Periodically, the plant was slashing at the fish as they got close to the glass edge, but it seems that whatever attention the plant is capable of using, it was fully focused on Sammy while she was reaching for the flower.
Okay. So I will jump up onto the top of the back of the couch. All right, Sammy, you can't let this plant, get the best of you.
But it hurt.
Yeah, so hurt it back.
I will look skeptically, but then because I'm ultimately a dog and very trusting, we'll go, okay, you got it. And then I will bark at the plant angrily.
Just keep in mind that plant is made of sticks.
Yeah.
Does the barking attract the plant's attention? Like, does it look like it's trying to protect itself against Sammy?
It actually does. It might not be as effective as, fully trying to body the plant, but it does seem to react to her barking.
Okay, so once it reacts to her barking, I'm gonna try and jump in and grab the stem of the flower and pull it off.
Okay. So that's going to be an acrobatics check while the plant is distracted.
Am I helping because I'm distracting the plant?
So the plant is going to lash out at Latte, but it's going to have disadvantage from the distraction.
Okay. So that's an 11.
Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead and do that attack real quick. Let's see. Does 12 hit your armor class?
I have an armor class of 12.
Oh, okay. So it does still. 2 points of slashing damage for Latte, but she does grab the plant in her jaws and kind of carries the climbing vine down a little bit with her body weight until finally, pop, the flower comes free from the plant. She scampers away from the plant's vines and leaves as they lash back out at her. Okay, you have a plant in your mouth.
I'll momentarily leave it on the ground and go look at Sammy and go, "You have to bite it next time." Jeez. Okay, well that hurt.
Mr. Tabernacle says not to bite things. But then I'll say, but you showed that plant who's boss. Good job.
He said not to chew on the plants anymore. So I'm getting a Pixie and Brutus vibe from the two of you, but the opposite animals.
Yeah, that's pretty perfect.
I could see that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have the flower.
So,
salami.
salami
Salami?
and pink goo.
While you are talking amongst yourselves about where to go next, you hear a loud crash from the floor above the kitchen.
Someone's stealing the salami.
Someone's stealing our bucket master.
No.
Bucket's downstairs.
Sammy will go, not the salami, and then sprint upstairs.
Don't eat it. I will take the flower. I don't think we need to take it with us. I'll leave it at the landing to go to the first floor.
So on the stairs?
Yeah, so we can pick it up on the way down.
Okay.
And we're gonna scamper up to get Sammy, so Sammy doesn't eat all of the salamis. We need those.
Sam, there we go.
You
Okay.
cut out there, Chase, for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh.
Your internet's cutting out.
Is
Still not doing great.
Oh, whoa.
Try again.
He's turning into slime.
Oh no, he's losing his mouth.
Oh my gosh. Like spitting all over my notebook. Like laughing, like spit's coming out.
You didn't need that notebook. You could get a
I
new
love my
notebook.
notebook. It's I love my notebook. It's a reusable like it's like the pages are like almost like whiteboard paper.
Oh, it's one of
And
the
you can take
remarkable type things, or
yeah, and you can actually each page has a QR code that you can link to your account and like scan in. So like every page, if I want to save it permanently, I can turn
oh
it into
yeah.
a PDF that loads into my Google Drive.
Those are fun.
I use it for lots of things.
all right.
Everyone-
So I'm on my phone, and it seems, for whatever reason, my internet either might have gone down or there's just some hiccup because both Roll20 and Discord are
Ah.
not behaving. But I am getting some activity from my browser, so I'm not sure. So I'm on my phone at the moment.
Okay.
Oh, there it goes. Completely went down.
Well,
Okay,
we can hear
while you
you,
sort
so
that
at
out,
least there's
I'm
that.
gonna. That is true. I will be right back.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Does anybody see me moving Sammy's token around?
Nope.
Nope.
But you have
Okay.
to stop moving it for it to move, because if you're moving it like
Yep,
okay,
there we
it
go.
moved. Yeah, because if you
Correct.
grab and move like while you have it grabbed, only you can see it moving.
Yeah, correct. I was dropping it and then grabbing it again.
Okay. Yeah, we only saw the last movement.
So did it move just then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's back. I think my internet's back.
Probably a hiccup then.
Here we go.
I know my internet does hiccup sometimes at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's oddly specifically 3 o'clock in the morning. Like every time it happens, it's at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'll check and it's like my router is resetting it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it like it's getting updates or something at 3 o'clock in the morning and just resetting itself.
Yeah, it's a common time for ISPs. So I knew it wasn't the access point because my phone had access. So it's something on my computer. So I just reset my my adapter real quick. So luckily, I work in
Turning it off
IT.
and
I
turning
know
it
how
on.
to do things. Basically, yeah. So, and that seemed to fix it. So I'm lucky I had my phone near me. You know, normally I don't have my phone when I'm doing stuff like that. I don't need the distraction. That flower proved easier than it looked.
I mean, we did take some damage. I took
A little bit.
50% of my HP.
Yeah. Well, not to worry if latte does go to 0, something special happens. I mean, definitely don't go crazy with the hit points, but
Oh, I'm sure as in-game characters, they don't want to get hurt. So.
no, things are still painful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
Yeah, not a problem. So, on this half of the tower's 3rd floor is a surprisingly sparsely decorated formal dining room, with not too many guests that often. Mr. Tabernac didn't feel like decorating this portion of the building very much. He generally takes his meals either in his lab or in the sitting room area in his various reading spots. But just beyond is the kitchen, and you hear the sounds of rummaging and a pot clash onto the ground.
Sausages. And Sammy will run over to the door and like scrabble at the door, like sniffing, in that way that dogs do, where they like huff against the door and stuff like that.
You can definitely smell something weird from the other side.
Yes, I will just like scrabble against the door, but I don't know how to actually open doors. So I'm just kind of like,
Hmm.
What kind of door handle do we have here? Is it like a latch? Or
This particular one is a knob, but it's a textured knob. Kind of has some flanges and some things on it. It's not just a pure sphere.
all right, I think this is Spot's time to shine.
Yeah, is there space enough under the door where I can just, slither under? Or are we gonna have to...
It is a very tight squeeze, even for the danger noodle, but you can slither under the door if you'd like.
Well, if I do that, then I'm gonna have to deal with Sammy being away from sausages.
no, I see what you're doing, and I like back up and let you do it, but I'm sort of like anxiously like wagging my tail, like nervous the entire time.
Alright. I'm gonna sneak under then, and then see if it's something I can handle.
Okay. Let me go ahead and clear that fog of war for you real quick.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
There's no way
So-
this goes poorly.
Exactly. So, with some squeezing and a bit of effort, you manage to make your way under the door. Mr. Tabernacle's kitchen is as impeccable as his organizational skills. Not at all. Dirty dishes fill the sink on the far side of the kitchen, and splatters of pasta sauce and other foods stain the counters and cabinets that line the walls. The back wall has numerous shelves with treats for both humans and familiars alike. Most notably, on one of the tables in the back corner is what can only be described as a hairless mutant cat thing. It is mid-bite in a log of salami when it sees you, upon which it hisses, poised to strike. Oh, why is it not loading it up? Is it bringing the art up full for you guys?
No, we don't
No?
even see
No.
the token.
I see
Oh,
no
that's-
token.
Yeah, you see the token. Why is that not going here? I might need to refresh my connection to Roll20. Hold on. Let me reload.
It is some
Yeah.
sort of horror show.
I do
it's
see a
odd.
random health bar.
Yeah, there's a random health bar, and there's like I think, like it tries to load the image because I see the like the thinking thing in the center of the screen
Oh.
sometime. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay, I just loaded up a
Ooh.
new one.
That's not okay.
That's not a flump.
No,
It,
no,
it
it ain't.
most certainly is not.
I was kind of hoping it was a flump.
There we go. I
Would have
reloaded
been
the token.
convenient.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is currently munching on the salami. There is at least one full, if small, bite missing from it.
You're just gonna hear the snake suddenly go, "Oi! We need those salamis! Thief!"
Outside, Laz is going, I was right? I was right.
I will go, not the salami! And like, and be like, open the door!
My cabbages!
Stand
Not my
still.
cabbages.
I'm gonna try, Sammy. I'm trying to climb onto you so I can get to the handle.
I'm like vibrating with energy.
Stop moving.
The door does open inward into the kitchen, and turning the knob is well, hopefully, relatively simple dexterity acrobatics check for Latte.
Okay.
It's a DC 8.
That's a 5.
Wow.
This is going so well, everybody. This is going so well.
I'm just trying, but I'm sitting on a vibrating dog.
All right. We can attempt that again with another roll if we can get Sammy to stop vibrating. Can she sit and stay and be a good girl for a sec?
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
Sammy
I'll
absolutely
try
can
that. I'll
sit,
go
stay, and be a good girl.
stay. I'll try the command word.
She
It's
she
training.
sits and like freezes and is like at attention, but like a rock. She's just like,
Oh, she's not doing the tippy tappies as she stands or sits.
you told her to stay.
Oh,
She
okay.
stays.
Okay, good.
I use the command word. It's
Yeah.
Power word stay.
powers.
Hmm.
All right, this has to go better, right?
Yeah, there we go. Just enough. The
Nailed
doors start swinging inwards, and you all can
I just
enter.
imagine the moment it starts to swing, the stay command breaks.
Yep.
And I
The doors
suddenly
open.
go, oh, wait, I'm going to get pushed.
I bolt through the door and I see the awful creature thing eating the salami, and I'll go, hey, that's my salami, and then run and run
Okay.
at it.
Oh, don't eat it.
All right. So, how are we looking to address this creature munching on your salami?
I'm gonna try to knock it away from the salami.
Okay. So it is hissing around the salami in its mouth. So we're gonna just make this a contested athletics or acrobatics check between Sammy and the creature here.
Okay.
Which I'm gonna make the mistake in the future. This is by naming it. So it's just a Grimishka. Although probably none of you knows what that is as characters.
I just know this thing's eating my salami.
Yeah, it is.
Someone is
I
gonna
don't
have to
think I've
remind
heard the name
Sammy at
before.
the end of this that we need the salami for the spell. Um, so you said it was acrobatics or athletics?
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna go with acrobatics because I am slightly better at dexterity. Um, oh, 19.
That's your salami.
That's my
Oh,
salami.
definitely. So you're able to kind of dance around a little bit and confuse it, and then dash in and swipe the salami out from it. Do you swipe it, or do you bite it and tear it away? Actually, that's acrobatics. You're swiping at it out of its mouth.
I think so.
It makes this almost kind of like a hiss, like what latte makes, but it definitely sounds weird, and it tries to jump on you with its claws flexing.
Okay.
We're going to do an attack real quick, and we'll figure out how you guys can take care of this little creature. For whatever reason, my macros aren't showing up on screen. I gotta do this the hard way.
Do you have the token selected?
Yep. It's just the buttons are being dumb.
Hmm.
All right, it looks like that was a hit on Sammy.
Yes.
Hey, its bite does something weird. As it bites down, also the natural 6 on the bite. Oof. Its
And
bite
that
does
would take
something weird.
well,
Yeah, we'll see
I'm
what happens. Yeah. Um, as it clamps down, or as it claws you and then clamps down with its bite, there's this loud, kind of magical whoomp noise, and for a moment, Sammy feels pain and a lot of pressure before her body poofs and turns into this kind of wispy, bluish white, smoky light. And it hovers for a moment, and then, Sammy, you feel your celestial form, and it's been a very long time. You've almost forgotten what it feels like. And then you start feeling tugging from somewhere. And the other two animals see the wispy light that was Sammy's dog form kind of drawn almost forcibly back out of the kitchen and back down the stairs and out of sight.
I have a very important question.
Yes,
Does the salami come with me?
the salami drops at your feet before you wisp
Dang
away.
it. Okay, so I assume that's actually more like over here.
Yeah,
Mm.
Okay. All right. That stinks. Sorry, guys. Or everybody. That my bad.
Spot, can you get that thing? I will go and grab the salami. Keep it busy.
Those things hurt.
Oh. Yeah, they do. They do.
And I have 2 HP left, so I'm gonna go for the salami and try to take it out of the kitchen.
Put
Yeah,
that
Pi, if
thing
you were
back where
talking,
it came
there
back
you go.
from. We need the muscle head. Put it back.
This is only a CR 1/8 creature too, which
Yeah.
is surprising.
But we're a bunch
There's-
of CR zeros.
Sure.
Yeah.
Actually, the snake is a CR 1/8 as well.
I was gonna say I'm 1/8. What happened to
You
you?
got this.
It's
You got
it's-
this. I believe in you.
It's just that this monster profile, which comes out of Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, can do what 2d6 damage as a CR 1/8 creature.
Yeah, some CRs make no sense.
This one should probably be a quarter or a half, definitely.
Either that
Although
or
it
it
only
should be
has
lower.
It only has it has a low AC and low hit points, so I guess that counteracts it. Get the jump on it, and it's not a big challenge. So, how
Reminds me
is
of my favorite low CR monster that punches above its grade, the skull crab. Sorry, bone crab? Bone crab.
Everything's a crab.
It is a challenge rating of a 1/2, but it gives you a disease that can kill you pretty quickly.
Oh my gosh.
And also has 2d4 plus 2 slashing damage, which just doesn't seem a lot until you start rolling high.
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
All right,
Good job,
so-
Lottie. Good job.
Yeah. Latte will grab the salami and proceed to run out of the kitchen.
okay? How is Spot distracting the creature?
I am going to try and bite its leg. So
Oh, you're
clearly it cannot follow latte.
You're gonna attack it. All right. Well, as the maybe not the toughest, but definitely actually you have almost the same number of hit points that Sammy started with, I think, or did.
Yeah,
Um.
probably.
Yeah. So as the
6 plus 4 would take me out no matter
Yeah.
what.
Oh,
There's
100%.
Oh yeah.
I
Take
also
me
rolled
out,
pretty
too.
hot on that one.
Yeah.
So but as the most damaging character that's left, that's definitely something you can do. Go for it. Its AC is only 12.
Yeah, you heard it, Snake. Uh. Why I no bite?
Does the macro disappear for you as well for some reason?
Now the macro works. It says choose target 1.
Oh yes, click on the target token.
Yeah, I did. And then it disappears.
It disappears.
That
I
target.
can't select it, so
Yeah, that token is bugged.
Okay.
might-
Well,
Need a fresh token.
yeah. Let me go ahead and delete that and come back. All right, try it now.
I will find your ankles.
I still don't see a
Nope.
token on that. The image on that token is broken. You might have to.
Like the one that's
Get
in the
a-
middle.
Because
Weird.
the one with an HP, we only see the HP bar. There is no token for us to click.
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh,
it's
that's
not
interesting.
loading.
I actually do see the token.
Yeah, we can all see it. We just can't do anything with it. Is the problem?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
sure, we can see the one in the dining room, but I'm talking about the one with the HP bar on top of the table
Oh,
in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
kitchen. That one does not have.
It's
That
you're
one just
right.
doesn't exist.
I think that token. I think I deleted it. I think that token is just straight up busted. So give me 1 sec to
That's probably
refresh
also
that.
why you couldn't see the macros on it.
That is true.
Hmm?
Whatever internet thing happened to me broke my game.
It almost feels like the image that it's supposed to have is like deleted. So it's like trying to load a
Hmm.
non-existent image, so it's just a broken image.
Which would make sense.
So you might have to redo the art, like just drag the art
Yeah.
back on it.
I moved to my little token workshop here, so it should only take a second to refresh
All
it.
right. Our wizard really should take care of these roots coming in from the middle of nowhere.
So the tree that has grown into the side of the tower and started to tip the thing kind of sideways a bit has broken through the walls in a couple of places. So, but they've also left the window open. That's probably how the creature got in.
It's probably not great.
No, this is definitely not a well taken care of place when it comes to the oddities that happen here. That is not quite right. There we go. Okay, how about that? Macros are
There's
back for me, so you should probably be able to click everything and have it work now.
Well, we can see the token now.
Oh,
Oh, well, here. Yeah. Oh, you saw the art already.
Apparently, it's got real big legs. Looks like drumsticks.
Yeah, this is not a normal creature, that's for sure. But you definitely hit with that 23. Nice.
I am determined to eat this drumstick-looking cat thing.
I mean, it definitely is thin enough that it probably needed that salami. But I think you need it more.
There's so many other things that he could eat in this kitchen.
Are there? A lot of them are questionable.
Also, geez, Spot, you do a lot of damage too.
Well, I was also told not to bite the other things in this house.
I see why.
Very nice.
As a cat with 4 HP, you are terrifying.
You're like, okay,
As
As
a
a
venomous
dog with
stick should be.
6.
don't anger the noodle.
I think it's
Anger noodle seems
probably
appropriate.
honestly they took Venomous Snake away from Find Familiar in the 2024 edition, because it no longer explicitly allows for it, and it only says, in addition to the list of creatures it allows, it says any other CR0 beast that your GM allows.
Ah.
So if you play it rules as written, danger noodles are not allowable as familiars anymore. And I said, I don't like that, so have fun.
I'm just wondering how we would have gotten the toenail if we all picked fish.
There's another place where you can find a toenail. They thought of that. It just is a little bit more difficult to actually search out. So with that, the Corbiscuit takes a huge amount of damage for its tiny body, and after the snake strikes it, it kind of wobbles on its feet for a little bit, and then attempts to flee. Do you let it flee as it passes by you?
Yeah. Everyone
Okay.
will know far and wide to fear the noodle.
Fear the doodle. So is that the catchphrase for the session?
Listen, it came into the kitchen, the noodle attacked it, and it left the kitchen.
Definitely.
Live to tell the tale to all its friends to not come into the kitchen, for there is a danger noodle.
Okay, so that tells me that Latte is probably not gonna grab that opportunity attack either.
No, I'm more like I just grabbed the food, the salami, and left the kitchen
Oh,
because
gotcha.
I wasn't sure if this was going to be a prolonged battle, but I was essentially giving the option to the noodle to escape after I had escaped with the food.
No. So it scampers off the table and kind of bounces its way around the kitchen, left and right, making just even more of a mess than it already was, until it scrambles its way up the sink and out of the open windows. And you hear it hissing and making these weird gargling noises all the way down the rock exterior of the rock wall and off into the distance. You've vanquished this, well, whatever it was.
The bald latte, yes.
I hope
Excuse
she
you.
doesn't look like that bald thing.
Well, if we shave latte, this is what latte will look like.
We will not be shaving the latte.
Yeah, because otherwise you'll look real ugly.
I will drop the
Dark
salami
ugly.
momentarily to compliment the danger noodle on a good job done.
Now, where did Sammy go?
Yeah.
No.
So we'll come back to Sammy in just a sec. What would you two like to do now that you have the salami?
Well, is this the last room, or is there another floor above this?
There's the floor that we
Yes.
haven't been to. That's always locked.
There are 2 floors above you. You have the bedrooms and the attic space.
The
Okay.
mystery floor.
We need to find a flump, and if we have never seen one, then my guess it's in the place we've never gone.
Maybe we should put all this stuff together so that the ugly you doesn't come back and take it all.
Good point. All right. So
I'll grab the flour on the way down.
yeah, okay. And I'll take the salami.
Okay. While you are in on the second floor, you hear a knock, and then another knock, and then the jangle of keys, and it slowly opens to reveal the housekeeper, whose name is Ahmed.
Uh-oh.
That's weird. Did this token break too?
Probably.
Wow, it's just not even deleting now. There it goes. Okay. I mean, this new version of Roll20 is a little weird, so maybe I should have just, not used it. But I'll
all
definitely
good.
write a couple bug reports. But so um, the half orc man kind of grumbles out loudly, "Housekeeping." Looks around a little bit and sees the two of you. One of you carrying a flower, the other one carrying a salami. Confusion creases his face for a moment, and then he shakes his head and mutters something about weird familiar. He reaches back outside and grabs another bucket. There's a feather duster tucked into his belt, and he grabs a mop and a broom as well. And he starts moving down the stairs down to the bottom floor.
Latte?
Kind of want to
Even
trip
money,
him.
he dumps out the bucket.
Yeah, he's gonna dump out the bucket.
What if he uses the bucket to mop the floor?
That's gonna be very messy. I mean, my first instinct is when I want to trip him down the stairs, but that seems like a terrible idea.
I mean, that seems like a standard cat thing.
That is true. Um,
All right. While you are moving down here, Sammy, I'm going to post something in the Discord real quick. That is a macro for rolling on the oven. I'd like you to roll that if you can, assuming that doesn't break.
Where?
In the streaming chat.
Yeah, streaming chat.
I do not see that chat.
If you go to the streaming chat, or if you hover over
Here.
streaming, there will be or
Oh,
it's also
I
posted on the other one.
I found it.
Like the voice
I just-
chat channel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's on my phone versus if I do
Yeah.
it on my computer, it'll disconnect me. So, do I just post the whole thing with the brackets included?
Yep. If you can copy and you can't copy and paste it. That's on the phone. I mean, I can roll
No,
for
no,
you
I
if you
got it
want.
I got it out of Discord.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh no.
So
Am I now a bat?
the two familiars coming down the stairs see this machine in the corner, which you've never seen lit up or move or make noises before. In fact, it's actually kind of dusty with how unused it is. But it's making noises. It's moving. It's glowing. There's circular orbs, kind of like an orrery, moving around tracks inside of a glass dome. On the inside, it's smoky and dark.
Come on.
Kind of smells like cooking a little bit. After a minute or so, a bell hidden somewhere inside the machine dings, and doors slide open. The smoke dissipates, and out flies a bat. And I'm gonna have to hand this token over, assuming it also isn't broken.
This poor orc.
I assume he's paid well if he's working for a wizard.
Yeah, but still, the things this poor orc has seen or will see today.
All right. Kinex, you should have control of that token now.
Okay.
And if
Yeah, I
it
do.
weirdly duplicates, then I'll fix it later.
No, it seems like I do. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So
Sammy, you're a bat.
So Sammy the bat flies out, realizes that I'm way higher off the ground than I think I should be, and literally like panics and drops to the floor, and then looks around, terrified of what has just happened. Just in like pure shock, just frozen.
I feel like Lett's first instinct is flying rat must catch.
Momentarily forgetting the salami.
Sammy tries to bark as like Latte approaches, like in panic, tries to bark, and it just comes out as squeaking. And then looks around and is like, "I'm so much smaller than you."
Wait, Sammy? I'm just like, yee! Wait, Sammy? As you talk.
Latte? Spot? What's happening?
You shrunk.
And gained wings.
I like look around, I'm like got like stretched, I have like the stretched like wings, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
While the familiars are momentarily distracted by this new creature revealing itself to be Sammy, Ahmed has started moving around the bottom floor. He's in the library, kind of passing his feather duster over the bookshelves, kind of straightening the mess that's on the table. He knows not to put away things in the middle. They might be in the middle of a project. considering Mr. Tabernac's attention span, there's a lot of it. But he'll do his best to straighten it and make sure everything stays tidy.
Sort of momentarily overcome by shock, but then Sammy will go, "Wait, what about the housekeeper? What if he dumps out Mr. Tabernac?"
Well, we have 3 of the ingredients. We still don't know where the flump is. And that might be in the, attic? But we have to make sure that the goo isn't tossed out.
You see the housekeeper notice the mess you've left in the alchemical area.
Oh no.
And kind of looks around at the 3 of you and shakes his head and shrugs. He sets his feather duster down on top of the bookshelf and walks over to the chair, just tucks it in up against the alchemical table. He busies himself writing the ladder.
No, not the
And
toenail!
he goes, "Huh. Didn't this rug used to be over there? Oh, yeah." And he starts moving the rug away from the drain as well.
I don't
I
feel
will-
confident
well,
enough to fly, and so I'm just like crawling along the ground, squeaking frantically at the housekeeper.
While the housekeeper's doing all this, I'm gonna grab the. Oh God! Reality warped for a second there.
I saw the light. I didn't like it.
I will, with salami in my mouth again, go and hop up on the table and put the salami with the toenail and then stand protectively on top of it.
He finishes moving the rug back into its place. He looks at where you're standing and he sees the salami and just whatever. Then he sees the toenail. Oh, that's trash. And he tries to shoo you away.
I hiss and do not move.
He squint. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I panic and start flapping and try to flap into his face as he goes to pick up the salami. But I'm like a panicked bat, flapping in his face.
Is there any other way bats move around in closed spaces?
No. Sammy's having a really bad day right now, guys. I'm just flapping in his face.
Does Spot do anything?
Spot has the flower.
Spot has ditched the flower somewhere on the ground, and I'm gonna go guard the bucket.
Yeah, you don't even know if he's seen the bucket of wizard goo.
He hasn't gone into that corner yet.
Yeah. So between Latte and the new Sammy, go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Wait, who's doing that?
Whoever wants to lead that, and then the other provides assistance.
I have a -3 charisma. I think maybe I'm assisting in my panic.
Okay. I'm the one hissing, so. You said intimidation?
Yes.
5.
He knows that while he's confused by the bat and kind of distracted, he knows that you're just a cat. He might be a commoner, but cats are no longer that deadly against commoners. This is not first edition. And he retreats and says, "Well, you can have the nail then, cat." And he starts wandering back to where this feather duster was. And that's when he spots the snake guarding a bucket. And in the bucket, something weird.
Is Spot just around the bucket?
Yeah, I've basically encircled as much of the bucket as I can, with my head poking up, going, and fangs showing.
He kind of avoids the snake, cranes his neck and peers into the bucket. And he says, that looks like one of the wizard's failed potions. I should dump that before something bad happens. Come
Oh,
on, move. You don't want to get stuck in that in case it explodes. Where is he, by the way?
come closer, I
Um,
bite you.
are you going to? Because he's going to reach for the bucket.
If he reaches for the bucket, I'm gonna bite him.
Are we going to bite him? All right. Go for it. AC 10.
I really hope I don't kill the poor thing.
Okay,
Oh.
so you do miss, but he's gonna retract his hand after the failed bite, and say, "Oh, all right then. If you want to keep it, just be careful with it." Weird snake, and he's gonna go back to his feather duster and finish dusting over here, but he's gonna keep an eye on everyone. Y'all are acting weird.
Crawling along the floor, I finally make my way so that I'm like over here near Latte, and I'll like squeak up and I'll just be like, now what do we do?
We still need the last ingredient.
Well, where are we gonna find a flumph?
I vote attic, but if we go to the attic, we don't know what this guy's gonna do down here.
Maybe he can unlock the door for us though. Like if the door's locked, maybe he's the only other person that has keys to get us in.
Yeah, but he wants to dump the wizard down the drain.
Mm, he knows we're familiars, right? Like he knows we're not just like normal weird animals. He knows we're what that we're familiars, right?
He's vaguely aware of the concept of familiars. He tends to treat you all like animals, but he knows that Mr. Tabernac treats you specially, and that's enough for him to not just run you out of the house. Because
Yeah.
like a cat, that's a sensible pet. He doesn't know where the dog went, but a cat and a snake, that's kind of weird.
Must be some wizard shit.
Yeah, basically.
This stinks of wizard shit. Absolutely. Maybe we
I
can
have
get him
one
to
idea.
unlock the door.
I have one idea. Let's see how intelligent this guy is.
Oh, are you gonna use your little kitty cat paws to point?
Yeah, I'll hop off my where the two ingredients are and go back to the book where the ingredient list for the antidote is, and hope to God that the written part that we can't read can be read by a commoner and start meowing at him and pawing at the page.
He definitely takes notice, and after a couple of seconds of quiet considering what's going on, wanders over. Cat's acting weird. What's that there?
I sit back with one paw on the page.
I'm just gonna quietly try and sneak over to wherever I left that poor flower and drag it over to the other pile of stuff.
Okay, you can definitely do that while he's distracted.
I'm gonna crawl over and like kind of like put myself between the bucket and him. And if he tries to come over to the bucket, I'm taking over guard duty of the bucket.
Yeah, you're
I
on
know
bucket
it
duty.
is effective as the danger noodle, but I'm like, this is what I can contribute right now because I'm still too scared to fly.
Everything looks so much larger to you as well now too.
I bet.
Getting comfy in my arm.
Yeah. Ahmed looks down at the book and he kind of scans it. And he says, "There's not a lot of common on here, Cat. And I'm not much of a wizard. By that I mean none. What are you pointing at?"
I point at the like scribbles, like the doodles. And I point at the flump.
Oh, he's very comfy.
Hmm. Hey, that's
It's
the toenail. And the flower. And the salami. Well, must be some wizard shit.
I
But-
meow after each like correct guess, and then I'm like, I mean, yes, he's not wrong, but also point again at the flump.
And he says, I think I have seen one of those things. I don't normally go up in the attic. But I do remember seeing one hiding there. Mr. Tabernacle said not to mess with it. Said it was some otherworldly creature he wanted to learn to talk to.
I meow.
That's why we kept the attic locked. It's been up there for about a month now.
I hiss.
Just from
So-
the corner. Have we fed it?
What if this was so he could talk to the flump?
Well, he said Mr. Tabernacle was trying to figure out a way to talk with it. So, either the wizard did, and you're not aware of his discovery, or maybe he hasn't. But the housekeeper does continue reading the rest of what he can from that book, and he says, "It looks like you were supposed to do something with all four of these things
I meow.
in the cauldron."
I meow again.
I don't know. Some sort of recipe by the looks of it. I can cook, but this is something else. It
I
doesn't
meow
say
again.
It doesn't say what order to put them in, or how long to cook them for. Huh. Wizards are weird. All right then. You don't want to go upstairs.
I meow.
I perk up.
All right then. Suit yourself. And he's gonna lead you up to the attic.
I just jump up on his shoulder.
He'll startle at the unlooked forward to ride along, but he'll let you ride there.
I do that thing where it's just like jump up, claw, purr, purr, purr.
He winces each time the claws go into his shoulder through his clothing.
He's like,
Yeah, I doubt our wizard friend here is keeping my claws clipped.
If he can't clean up anything, I don't think so.
You've got some nice things that he's procured from a local pet shop for scratching, but who knows what furniture and wood and other things have got your claw marks all over them.
Yeah.
What?
Considering how fast Latte's claws grow, yeah. And we also have a lot of scratchers in the house.
So he's going to take you up to floor 4, and then up to the top of the stairs here, which is where the door has been locked for quite some time. And he'll fumble around with his keys, and he says, I'm not supposed to clean up there, and I need to get back to my work. So I'm going to unlock the door and let you in, and I'll leave it unlocked for you, okay?
Oh, meow. Jump off.
All right. Is Sammy brave enough to try flying, or is she still crawling?
Well, seeing that that Sammy's getting left behind, she'll go, okay, you can do this for Mr. Tabernacle. And then we'll just like frantically flap her wings as hard as she possibly can and try to get airborne. And I imagine that after a moment or two, it's sort of like the instincts of the body sort of overcome her panic, and she manages to like get herself up in the air and does that kind of weird fluttery fly that bats do when they're like inside of like a cave or like a building or something like that. And then eventually just like lands and like clings to the wall, and it's just like, that was the most terrifying thing I've ever experienced.
Well, you'll probably need to experience it again since your legs are a little short, stubby, and don't provide a lot of mobility right now.
It feels like I'm going to get better at this as I do
Well, I'm not certain you could get worse at it.
it. True.
So, Ahmed unlocks the door and opens it. It is dark upstairs. And he says, now I'm going to go back to work now. If you need anything, well, you can come get me. But and he starts turning around and walks away, muttering to himself, what can these animals even need from me? What am I talking about?
It's like, why am I talking to animals?
This is what happens when you work next to wizard bullshit.
Basically. These animals seem more intelligent than they really should be, and that's weird. But all right. So
All right.
you make your way up these last few stairs into this attic space. It is lit by a scant few ever-burning torches. The light in the rest of the room is fairly dim. It is dusty and filled with cobwebs. There's some mildewy smells coming from some of the buckets up in the upper left-hand corner. And behind some of the debris in the middle of the room, where it looks like some experiment may have gone badly, or just some trash was thrown long ago and then forgotten, floats an interesting creature. It is a jellyfish, basically. Kind of a soft, squidgy body, two eye stalks, tentacles coming down from below its body.
God,
I've
I
never
forgot
seen
how
something
weird
like
those
this
things
before.
look.
Lots is staring at the screen, watching the flump.
Oh yeah, just like every other jellyfish I've seen with eye
So both
stalks.
so both lattes are staring at the flump right now.
Yep.
You've never seen something that wasn't directly being held or manipulated by Mr. Tabernac float like that either. What would you like to do?
So, Mr. Tabernac wanted to talk to it, which means it should be possible to talk to it, but he can't, so clearly maybe we can. So, I will hop up onto some of the boxes to get, higher than it, and I'll call down to it, "Hello!"
It turns around and looks at you for a moment, and then blinks slowly. And you start hearing sounds in your mind. At first, it's a jumbled mess, and then it starts clarifying until it sounds like a gaggle of people talking in 100 different languages. And then the talking stops. And it looks at you.
That was weird. Do you know how to talk or just make noise?
After you say that, it starts making those noises in your mind again. And slowly the words coalesce into something a little bit more understandable. You can start hearing snippets of what sounds like speech you would actually recognize. And, something like what or how, where.
Well, you're in the attic of a wizard's home. How long have you been here? Hey guys, I think it can understand us.
Okay, great. Can you tell it to hand over a pink blob thing? Because we gotta fix the ooze of a wizard.
Yeah, what he said.
Um, every time you talk to it and it talks back, it gets a little bit more and more and more clear until after a short while, it's about as clear as it's going to be. Its voice in your minds is ethereal, light, kind of echoes a little bit. But it is speaking after a fashion in a way that you can understand it. It has what appears to be a mouth flap on top of its head, if you can call it a head. Might be a body. But that flap is not moving when it talks. It just looks at you and the words appear in its mind. And it says, "Ah, I can understand you now. I appreciate your patience. The wizard took longer to figure this out. He
He
tried to focus on the physical words, not the mental ones.
he is a bit scatterbrained.
Hmm, that's true. He has kept me up here for some time. He fixed my tendril, though, kind soul." And the flump lifts up one of its tendrils, and you see um, the signs of an injury. It's at a bit of a weird angle for a jellyfish tendril, and there's the signs of what could be a scar. But it seems to be moving fine as far as the other ones are. The spikes on the end of the tendrils flex just like the other ones do.
Well, our wizard friend is in trouble, and we're trying to help him.
Oh,
We'll never get to
what's
go on
happened to
walks
him?
again or
He got turned
flights.
into blob.
A
He's in the
blob.
bucket.
And apparently he needs a pink thing from you to return to his normal body.
Hmm. A pink thing?
It
Does
was
he
goop
mean?
gel.
Yeah. Do you mean, and then the noise that pops into your mind is scratchy and weird and doesn't have an actual word associated with it?
I just hiss.
Uh,
Hmm.
uh,
Do not like the
I'm
word.
I'm sorry. That must not have a word in a language you can contemplate. Regardless, I think I know what you mean. I can make that, but it's been so long since I've eaten. I am quite tired.
What do you eat? As long as
Any
it's not salami, we can probably scrounge some up. I saw some cheese on the floor below us. Do you like cheese?
I don't know what cheese is. My kind subsists mostly on fungus from our home realm. I think I can consume almost anything you can, though.
Cheese
we
is
could go down to
basically
the kitchen.
fungus.
Yeah, cheese is probably a fungus.
I mean, cheese can grow fungus.
Exactly. So it's basically a fungus.
I mean, it's grown from milk in a way that like fungus grows. It's just a staple fungus. Um, yeah. Well, I saw cheese downstairs. I'll go grab some cheese. I think I'm the one with the fastest mobility right now. Until Sammy gets used to the wings.
I think I've probably gotten a little bit used to like flying around now, so I'm probably like fluttering around like the flumps, like eye stalks, like trying to get used to it.
Um, okay, so you go and grab some cheese and whatever else you think it might want to eat from the kitchen, and you bring it back up, and it looks at your offerings and says, "That's food, is it?
Yeah.
Would you eat it?"
Yes.
I love cheese.
Cheese is good.
Can bats eat cheese?
Now the cheese is bigger than you.
I can imagine the dog part of Sammy's brain just going, a cheese bigger than me? Oh.
Yeah, like excited, and then like looks up at the cheese, but then looks over at the flump and says, "No, no, you should eat it. You need it so we can save Mr. Tabernac, and then we can go on flights. Walks will take a lot longer because I'm really slow walking like this. Maybe it's best to just ignore Sammy the Bat right now.
Sammy the Bat's having some existential crises in the corner.
Sammy the small flying dog, yes.
Yeah.
So the flump looks at the offerings and decides apparently it's worth a try, and the tendrils reach down and pick up the food items you've brought and dump it into that opening flap on the top of its head. It closes over, and you see it kind of undulate a little bit inside the floating body. And it says, "This has a strange flavor, but I think it may suffice. I can already start feeling the strength coming back to me. Now, and he says a word that you've never heard before, but this one does resolve. He says flump. Or it says flump, I should say. It says, we flumps can make that substance, I won't repeat it, when we are excited, when we are happy."
Are you not happy that you have been fed?
Yes, but it's different. When we're feeling contentment with everything, we're a very sensitive creature, more so than those who dwell on this plane.
So it's kind of like the feeling when you're all curled up in a warm, soft bed.
Mm.
And anything to bring the cheer back might suffice. How much do you need?
No clue. As much as we can
Probably
get, I
guessing.
assume.
Yeah, a good amount, as much as we can get.
Okay. So how the words in your mind make it sound like maybe this creature's been depressed for a while. Its lack of cheer is more than just I've been hungry and now I've been fed. How do we propose to make it feel some cheer again?
Anyone know any good jokes?
Not any that I can say on stream.
The only thing that Latte can think of is that petting her seems to make people happy. When she purrs and lets people pet her, and that seems to make people happy. The only other time a cat makes someone happy is when they make a mistake and do something ridiculous. She's not about to admit to that one.
Or chase the little jingly balls around the floor, or
Yeah.
the feather covered wand tip.
Ah, yes, the good one.
To be fair, I think the loudest I've laughed with Latte is when I scare her. Because she doesn't scare easily. But I don't think she wants to be scared right now.
No. I watched Luna completely whiff jumping from my bed onto my windowsill, which is not a very large jump, even for a cat her size. And that's probably one of the hardest I've laughed at her.
Yeah,
So,
see, it's always when the cat makes a mistake that we laugh. So,
it's like you're supposed to be a nimble, clever creature. What was this?
Yeah. Does Spot have any ideas?
Mm.
Uh,
Gonna put
wait.
put on silly hats again.
I might have a good dog joke. I'll look at the flump and I'll go, what kind of dog doesn't bark?
It thinks for a moment. I don't know. What kind of dog doesn't bark?
Sammy excitedly squeaks, a hush puppy. I'm literally on r/dad jokes.
You,
Yep.
And there's a thread about dogs, about dog jokes.
Yep.
I think it's
I-
funnier if Sammy was a dog.
honestly, I thought you were going to say a bat.
Me too.
I mean, that would also be funnier.
Yeah, but so it thinks for a moment, and then you see a little bit of color come to it. Well, it was a bit of a sorrowful blue. There's a tinge of pink in it now. And it looks back at you and says, "That took me a moment. That- but I liked it. It's almost makes me feel cheer again. Do you have any more?"
We could go for a walk. That always makes me happy.
"Oh, I don't walk, I float, but
I look at him, I go, I guess I don't walk anymore much either. But that's okay. Flying's fun.
flying is fun. It's been some time since I've seen the sky, though."
You can see the sky from the kitchen where there's more cheese.
"Well, we can take a look if you'd like."
To the cheese! I'll
Okay.
show the flump to where I chased the weird, ugly latte out.
The weird, ugly latte. Oh, there's two of you. There you go. Fix that. You show the flump into the kitchen, and it spots the open window. And it drifts over to the sink, and its eye stalks move forward over its body, kind of out the windows a little bit. And it looks around, and it says, "The sky sure is nice looking today. No storms. Light clouds. Pretty color." And it starts turning a little bit more pink. It's still tinged with blue, however.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, might as well try the tried and true cat method of making someone happy and just climb up onto the sink and just purr below it.
It looks down at you, and then and then asks, "What noise are you making?"
It's a noise that makes people feel better. Try petting me.
"But I might sting you accidentally. Those
Don't pet me.
the the tips are our sensory organs. They are not safe to touch."
Mm, just enjoy the purrs then?
It listens, I guess, and it says, "I can't make out the words you're trying to say. Is that a language?"
No.
"Oh,
It's a vibration. It's a
and
good
so
vibration.
so are the words that humanoids use. It vibrates the air."
But this isn't words, it's just vibration.
I don't know if I can perceive it the same way a human can.
Hmm. I
Most
think you
of our
have to be in contact somehow with me to feel the vibration.
I can try to use a different part of the tendril, if that will help.
Perhaps. Or just
It
lean against.
can try that as well. It will dip one side of its body down towards you and touch you. It has a weird rubbery texture, and it squeezes and feels like there's a fluid of some type that gives it its shape and its form, and it compresses up against you, and it varies, how much pressure it's providing, and it says, "I can feel the vibration. I'm sympathetic to that. I'm vibrating now too."
Yeah, exactly. See? It's a healing vibration.
Oh, it has healing properties.
Oh,
This
yes.
would have been useful a month ago. The the flump slowly starts turning more and more pink. There's still just a hint of blue, though. But it does say, in your mind says, "I can definitely feel the cheer returning. I'm almost ready to give you some of that. Well, I won't repeat it."
Some of that thing we will not mention.
Yeah. It seemed to hurt you when my mind transmitted the concept.
Wow. Any other good ideas of how to make a jellyfish happy?
Mm.
Music? Do you like music, Mr. Flump?
Hmm. I'm aware of the humanoid concept of music. My kind has a sort of song that we use. Can you make music, Miss Bat?
Sammy will like maybe can I try to use like my bat like ultrasound to like make like a rhythm like a like I'm like scatting or whatever like in like a like boobity bop bop beep bop doo like that but like with like little squeaks using my like ultrasound like abilities.
Um, to any of the creatures that, yeah, you can definitely do that. To any of the creatures that can hear those high pitched squeaks, you get the full um the full spectrum of noises that Sammy is now emitting, a bit haphazardly. There's almost there's a little bit of rhythm there. Um, I don't know if stakes can hear in those higher registers, so maybe to spot it just like it flickers in and out of hearing,
I
and
just
it's a
figured
little
that
bit
there's
discordant.
random pauses, so I'm just gonna go in oons, oons, just like bobbing my head,
Do you,
doing
do you
mini
start do you
snake
start
dances.
making the do you start making the oots noises?
Yep. Oons, oons, oons,
The
oons.
the flump starts kind of bobbing a little bit, with the tune, with the rhythm, and it says, "This is enjoyable. What if all of us made those noises?"
That's the fun of music. Everybody gets to contribute.
Um, its flap on the top of its mouth or head is going to open, and out of it comes this weird, hissy, garbly noise that none of you recognize. But it's going to make those noises in time with what it can hear from the bat and the snake. It's kind of provide a lower harmonic almost. Does Latte join in?
I feel like the only meows that a cat can make are not very harmonic.
I
Probably.
mean, she can purr really loud.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think she just continues purring.
The I'll be honest, the noises that the other two animals are making, actually all three of creatures, not very harmonic either. It's more of a rhythm thing. I don't know how a bat, a snake, and a flumph can harmonize with
fair.
each other.
I guess I'll add some meows.
Okay. We're gonna do a group performance check. It's gonna be low DC, and the flumph's gonna join in. We're gonna see how all of this turns out.
I just clicked on the macro, it didn't work, so I'll just roll normally.
Oh.
It's fine.
Okay,
Nope,
fine.
it's all good. Don't worry about it.
Broken macros.
I get a
The
9.
nature of changing the associated stats and stuff around might have broken that. I've never tried to do that technique before.
That's okay.
I told you the meows weren't that good.
Uh-oh. I did say the DC was low, and it's a group check, so...
Yeah. I am honestly surprised that the cat has a 7 in her charisma, because I feel like cats should have better charisma.
Sometimes cats are very pointy.
It's true. I also imagine that some element of the Flump's music is also like telepathic in nature, so we're only getting like part of it because we can't understand the other part of it that's like telepathic.
Yeah.
All right, so what we have there it is. I was looking for one of the macros and I realized, oh, it's broken. So those 2 9s do pass the DC. So we're going to basically you guys harmonize. You create a bit of a band, and are you aware of the game My Singing Monsters?
Yes.
That's the vibe I'm getting from this group. And eventually you kind of find your rhythm, and if Amit was looking, he's downstairs right now, but if he was looking, he would just be, I need a vacation.
Yeah.
A bat, a cat, a snake, a flying, stalked jellyfish thing, just bobbing and weaving, all grooving to whatever weird music they're making. But over the course of a couple of minutes of this, the rest of the flumph, that can color change, so mostly its body and its eye stalks, does so. And it almost starts to glow with how bright pink it is. And it says, I have not felt this amount of joy in some time. I appreciate your efforts, my friends. You just met me and you went out of your way to help. I think I can make and it almost says the thing, the goo for you. Do you have somewhere I can deposit it?
Oh, rummage up or something from.
Yeah.
There's
we're in the kitchen.
There's a little like saucer or sauce holder thing. Sauce.
Okay.
Pan?
It dips down to the level of whoever's holding the sauce cup, and its mouth flap opens wide, and you hear in its mind, just scoop it from the insides. It'll grow back.
I beg your pardon?
Huh.
The substance you desire, it's what we are made of. We don't have organs quite the same way you do.
Okay.
Oh.
Sure.
It will not hurt me.
I gently paw some out.
It has the consistency of Jello at first, but eventually your paw breaks the surface a bit and can scoop a little bit out. And True to what the flump said, it doesn't react to that substance being removed. I'll be honest, it's not clear how it extrudes this goo. It just says it can collect a scoop of goo. And I'm like,
Oh
I
God!
don't want to, leave this up to the weirdos watching to imagine goo coming out of a flump. So
Yeah. No.
so it's just gonna open and you can scoop some out. And you have a collection of pink
We'll just
flump
scrape
goo.
scrape the goo into the thing and then kind of shake it off.
Um,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, should we? That's everything. We should get down there and save Mr. Tabernac, and then maybe he could make me a dog again.
Oh God! I hope he didn't put the dog in the pocket.
All right, let's go.
The
Also,
flump
I don't know
says-
if I was muted earlier, but thank you so much for the donation. Let's see here. I want to say crispy suit. Yeah.
Oh yes, thank you very much. The whole reason we are here today is to raise some support up for the animal shelter.
For those who do not have, or that have paws. Many paws, many beans.
So the flump says, I think I will join you downstairs. Now that I'm feeling better, I may wish to speak with the wizard. Let him know that his efforts were not a waste.
Okay.
So the now four of you, let me reset tokens a little bit. Where did Latte go on this page? There she is.
Hiding in a corner.
Yeah, that's the one thing with these fully colored and backgrounded tokens. They can be a little hard to see on the map, even with the bright blue ring that I picked. So you make your way back down finally to the last, or with the last substance in your paws, hands, whatnot. And you round the corner, and you see the bucket has been dumped. Amit has just emptied the bucket now. And the last vestiges of this rainbow-colored goo slops out of the bucket and hits the drain's surface and then wiggles its way down inside. And he says, I don't know what that was, but good riddance. And kind of shakes the bucket a bit and then sets it down underneath the alchemy table and then continues cleaning up in here.
I'll shout out, and I'll squeak and fly over to the grate and like put my like one wing down it, like trying to like see if I can reach any of the goop.
You can't reach any of the goop, but you can still see it. It's at the bottom there.
I will take the last ingredient and jump up onto the table where we had the other ones.
Push him in the cauldron.
Are they still there?
Yes, they're still there.
Okay, so I'll dump the rest of the ingredients in with the pink thing, and then just huck it, thing and all, like container and all, into the. Just huck the whole thing with all the ingredients into the cauldron.
Okay. So you dump everything in there, including the pewter sauce holder.
Yeah.
And the iridescent liquid in the cauldron starts to bubble and go from the bluish green color that it once was into kind of a bright pink. And steam starts coming from its surface. That steam smells fairly sweet. It loses a bit of its iridescent quality. There might be one more step you're missing.
I think we all have to stand around it and scream.
What?
Picture.
Oh, that was the last image. Yeah, we have to like stand around it and like dance, look happy.
That sounds utterly ridiculous, but she'll jump down to
But you'll still do it.
still go around. I mean, we have to dump this onto the floor soon enough to get it
Yep.
down the drain. So, yeah.
I hope
she's-
there's enough room for the wizard down that drain.
That's for him to find out. Yeah. So, we'll circle and flap whatever.
Okay. As you start making noises, you notice that iridescent quality starts returning to the brew, and it starts bubbling faster and more furiously. And once the cacophony reaches a peak, there's a big poof of that sweet-smelling smoke, and the cauldron is returned to a bit of a nice simmer. But it definitely has that really bright pink iridescent quality that matches the picture in the book.
All right.
Alright, now we gotta dump it.
Yep. Dump it down the drain.
Latte, you weigh the most.
Sammy will try to grip the far end of the cauldron and like flap furiously.
With the three of your efforts as tiny creatures, the cauldron, this heavy iron pot, that's quite large, not as large as Sammy was in her old form, it shakes and shudders, but it doesn't really move until the Flumph comes over and helps with its tendrils. And with the four of you, you finally tip it over. And with the loud crash, Amit rushes around the corner and says, "I just cleaned there!" But the brew makes its way into the drain and starts dripping down inside it. And you hear a sizzle, and then a pop, and then a poof. And the same brightly colored smoke that you saw before shoots out of the drain, almost comically, like a steam engine almost.
Oh no.
And you hear from the bottom, "Hello? It's Mr. Tabernac.
We did it.
Where?" The drain. Oh, one moment. And you hear kind of a windy sound, and he poofs, excuse me. He poops.
It is a drain.
I wrecked that moment. Poofs back into existence on top of the drain. And he's covered in all sorts of liquids and materials and stuff from the bottom of the drain. And other than his skin being kind of a weird color, it looks like he's back to normal. He starts stretching and looking at his fingertips, kind of poking his eyes a bit. He says, "It was strange being an ooze. I don't recommend it to any of you." And he turns around and looks at Amit, who's just standing there, his mouth open.
This poor orc.
And then he starts walking towards the stairs, muttering about needing a raise. And then he looks back at the group of you all, and he says, "Incredible, amazing. My dear friends, you've saved me from a most uncertain and uncomfortable fate." He reaches down and gives each of you scritches, and he pauses at the bat, and he says, "I don't recognize. Ah, that's Sammy. I see it in your eyes."
I squeak happily, and then I do like when like a dog like likes you, and they sort of like rub their like head against your foot. I do the same thing, but like to his like ankle as a bat.
He says, I think I can fix you back to your original form if you'd like. You should try being a
Nod
bat for.
emphatically.
You should try being a bat for a while, though. Being another form can be fun, just not an ooze. That one definitely wasn't.
I
It'll
squeak
take me a little bit of
dejectedly.
time to. It'll take me a little bit of time to prepare that. So, in the meantime, I think a celebration's in order. Why don't we all grab ourselves a treat in the kitchen?
Treat time.
Yay, treats! And as he steps towards the stairs, kind of picking his way over the mess of the cauldron, he stops and pauses for a moment. He looks around and says, this place could use a bit of a proper scrubbing." And that's the end of the adventure.
Most excellent.
That was
Amazing.
really great.
And right in time too, 2:53. Wow, 2:53 Pacific time.
Nice.
That was a fun little adventure. Thank you, Karu, for showing that to me. I had a blast reading my way through it, and saying, how can I make this just more shenanigans? Because shenanigans is the name of the game when you're playing something like this.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
I had
I
a
do like
blast.
the idea of like you're not playing characters, you're playing familiars.
Yeah, it's almost like you're playing the sidekick almost, and
Mhm.
everyone's still on the same power level, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's nice showcasing characters different than the heroes all the time.
Yeah.
If you could send me, I would love to run this for my friends. Like I know lots of other animal lovers that I think would get a kick out of a short, simple game like this.
Yeah. Did you want me to send you like a full copy of all my resources too?
No, that's okay because I might do this one in person with a few
Mhm.
other people. If I do
Okay.
end up doing it as on roll 20, then I'll let you know. But for now, just like the adventure info is plenty, and I'll
Gotcha.
take it from there. But I really appreciate that because I'd love to run this for some other friends.
Yeah.
I think Emily, my partner, would love it, and have a few
It
other friends that are animal
makes for
lovers that would also have a good
a
time.
fun like out of the box thinking of how to solve things.
Yeah,
Garm
you
also
can't just
says,
throw a skill against it.
yeah, Garm also says in the chat, thank you, Pickles, for the very good pacing.
Yeah, that was more accidental, I'll admit.
Listen, we
You did a
take
good job. It was
those.
a lot of fun.
We definitely take those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you, any of you who are watching now or in the future on the replays, want to run this for yourself, this is actually on the D&D Beyond forums, I guess you can call them.
Mhm.
Just look up a Familiar's Quandry. It's a free adventure that's posted there.
I've also
Maybe.
linked it in the chat.
Oh yeah, we can link that as well. Here, let me get you that link if you want to do that now.
Yeah, it's done. I had it
Oh,
programmed.
okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
You can also watch a playthrough on YouTube with a number of D&D celebrities.
Yeah,
Um,
this was created first when they were running it for Jasper Day, I
Mhm.
believe. So yeah, it was created for another charity event.
yeah. So I had a blast. This morning was a little weird for me, dealing with some drama, and this definitely has made me glow pink instead of blue. So I appreciate everyone participating with me.
Aw.
Oh,
Thank you
And
very
thank you
much
to
for the
those who have
invite.
donated. We are at $315 raised so far.
Hell yeah.
if anybody wants to donate in the future, maybe they catch this as a replay. How long will the charity be open for?
So the Tiltify will be open until till the end of the year.
Okay.
Because we're doing other donation incentives here locally. So we're keeping the Tiltify open till the end of the year. If not, you can always just go to scarscare.ca and donate directly to them.
Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad we brought up their website.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just scarscare.ca.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything else they'd like to give a shout out for?
Nope, I'm good.
But thank you, Pickles, for running a
Yeah.
wonderful session. Filled
Thank
with
you
you
very
about
much.
it.
much
I
merriment
have
and
is-
shenanigans.
Yes. My only thing to say is adopt from your local shelter. Give them donations as well because they do a lot for our communities. They help all those pets that are out on the streets, and they
Yeah.
also not only help get as many as possible off the streets, but also those that do live on the streets. Spay and neuter programs are really important for
Mhm.
keeping populations down, and those shelters usually do that as well.
Yeah.
Scars Care does have a lot of programs like that themselves for our area. They do basically the trap, spay, and release
Mm.
programs.
CNR.
They also, yeah, that one. And I know they also have programs for like working animals, mostly cats. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
have
For, like,
barns and warehouses. They coordinate with them to have cats that can't or weren't socialized with humans, so they can work as mice catchers and stuff.
Yeah, we actually have at the warehouse I work in, we moved buildings from the smaller one next door to the bigger one we're in now, and I don't know if they're feral because they'll hang around people. They just won't get closer than about 10 feet or so. So I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what this cat's deal is. But we just named the cat after the building because that's just what we call it. And building cat basically. And they're a mouser, and they've been with us for over a year, probably longer than that. It's longer than I've been with the company, that's for sure. And case in point with rescues, my own cat was a rescue. She wandered into our garage. What? April of 23. Yeah, so closing in on
Yes.
2 years now.
The good
And
garage cats.
yeah, and that's one of her nicknames. I call her Garage Cat or Trash Cat because she likes like laying in, not trash, but like if I'll put a plastic bag on my bed or something, she'll just jump right on it.
They'll lay in trash. I've seen them.
Yeah. I'll post a video to the Discord of her most recent playing in trash, basically. But she was a street rescue, and she adopted me, and I in turn. So yeah, if you can do anything to help out your local animal shelters, rescues, anything like that, it's always a good cause to help out.
And honestly, even if like money isn't an option, if you have old rags, shirts, blankets, towels, bath season will be coming up, and anything will work for adding warmth into like some of the outside type shelters.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it is time for us to hand off for the next game. So we will put up the next stream. And
Oh yeah, I
thanks
gotta do
again,
that.
Pickles. And goodbye to the stream.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye.